This
Yeah.
conference will
Yeah.
now be recorded.
So in last class we discussed about console.log.
Yeah, we discussed about inline, internal, and external JavaScript, and then
Yes.
we did some,
Document.write
let's
and
say,
console.log.
yeah.
Yep. So today we will discuss about access element,
Mm-hmm.
access class, access ID.
Okay.
So these three concepts we will discuss today.
Can you also teach me functions today?
Yeah. We'll have all those things.
Because I'm a bit confused when it comes to calling functions.
No worries. No worries. No worries. Okay. So we will discuss today access element, access class, access ID. For example,
Yeah.
this is our HTML document. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And sometime we will be having classes, sometime we will be having ID, sometime we will be having element name. So these are the three type of things which are going to be available. But okay, let me tell you about the access element, how to access element, all these things. To first by two, and this will be nodes. Let me take a new program, and this will be access element dot html. Okay, let me take multiple HTML elements. Okay, fine. Let me take script, and now I'm trying to writing script for accessing element. Document dot get elements by tag name. The name of the tag should be h1 of 0, and dot inner HTML. Inner HTML nothing but inner text of the element is equal to something like Srinivas. See, I'm trying to access in the first element.
Mm-hmm.
This is 0, this is 1,
Okay.
this is 2. Why? Because of all similar elements are storing in array.
Okay.
In that manner, I'm going to be trying to access in the 0th element. 0th element nothing but first element, this one. Okay, so that first element I was trying to updating inner HTML with the Srinivas. Okay, let me check how this is going to be working with. Open the browser. Can you see and observe? See, basically we are trying to taking the web development, but end of the day, we are going to be having Srinivas for the first element. Can you see and observe? Can you see and observe?
Yeah.
What is happening here?
So it's updating the first element, which is h1.
Yeah, separating the
Where
first element. First element is going to be having Srinivas. And if
yeah.
I'm taking second element is h1 of 1
One. Yeah.
is something like Avi. Third element something like Suresh. Can you see now? Can you see this now? Okay, Avi got taken, and this one we have to give 2.
Yeah.
And now you see Srinivas, Avi, and Suresh.
Yeah.
So why? Because of first element accessing with a 0th index, second element access with a 1 index, and the third element accessing with the two index. Why? Because of all similar elements are taking in one array. Let me draw the picture, then you can understand how the things are going to happen. In HTML, all similar elements are taking in one array. All similar elements, nothing but you will be having multiple h1s. For example, h1, h1. You will be having multiple h1s, right?
Yeah.
All these h1s are storing in similar array. At the same time, all the similar classes are storing in one array. For example, I take a class called Avi. Avi is one class.
Mm-hmm.
Avi in one class. Avi. Number of Avi classes are there.
Yeah.
All these are classes.
Mm-hmm.
But ID should be different. ID something like, let me take the first ID is Hyderabad. And the second ID will be Chennai. Third ID will be something like Mumbai. Can you see? IDs are different, but all similar classes are storing in one array. All similar elements are storing in one array, but IDs are different.
Yeah.
So can we see that? So all similar elements, nothing but all h1s are storing in one array. That is the reason it is started with a 0, 0, 1, 2. Okay, let me take h2. H2 full stack. Okay, if I want to access h2, what I want to do, let me just do something. Document dot get elements by tag name. Name of the tag is going to be h2, and this is going to be in 0th element. Dot inner HTML. Inner HTML is equal to something like full stack.
So one question here.
Yes.
So let's say if we have our own JavaScript file, so will we still call it as inner HTML or?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
If you are having a JS file, see, if I'm going to be having something like this here, okay. Let's save this. Let I'm taking a new script file. Let me take a new script file. So this is going to be saved as file.js. Okay. So here what I'm doing, I'm copying all the things and let me place it here. And I'm going to be giving something like Dubai. Everywhere I'm giving Dubai. Can you see what is going to be happening with? Coming to the HTML, I'm not calling any script now. Let me call the script. Script src, and the name of the file is file.js.
File.js. Yeah, and close it.
And here the thing is very simply different. The thing is very simply different. The same output you can see. Well, because of this script is calling before, right? But this script is calling after. But this script is calling after. Then you get the different output. Can you see?
Oh, yeah.
Why? Because of line by line execution.
Okay,
JavaScript is
so
line by line execution. JavaScript is line by line execution.
okay.
1 second.
Okay, so it's executing from the window, is it?
Yes, yes. 1 second. I'm getting on.
This conference will now be recorded.
So script is going to be executing line by line execution. It means the first script is executing first and immediate script is executing next. It means the end of the day, you are going to be getting the Dubai, Dubai, Dubai. Why? Because of file.js is executing next line. If I'm putting this one top, obviously the next script is executing fine. See, the output is
Okay, it's
completely
because
different.
last
Srinivas Avi is yes, the last line is first.
okay.
Last line is first execution. Okay, let me take classes now. Classes dot classes access dot html. 1 second.
This conference will now be recorded.
Sorry, Avi, I'm getting calls. H1.
Yeah.
And this will be full stack now. And here let me have class something like Hyderabad. Class. Same concept, but this time I'm going to be accessing classes. Access. Yes. Okay. Document dot
Right.
Getting elements by class name. This time the method is getting changed. And what is the class name called Hyderabad?
So we put hash.
And we have to specify the index. Yeah, hash. No, that is CSS.
Oh, okay.
That is CSS. CSS we have to call with the dot. Okay. So inner HTML is equal to something like.
Oh, is it for ID that we use hash?
No. Yeah. That is in classes.
In script.
That is in CSS. That is in CSS. But this is JavaScript. JavaScript you have to call the method. Method is document dot get elements by class name.
Okay.
Yeah. So index 1, index 2, all indexes are getting updating with Hyderabad. Full stack getting updating with Hyderabad. Can you see?
Yes.
Okay. Now this is full stack. This will be something like web development. Can we see this? I got updated the content with the full stack is getting updated with web development. Can you see now? Can you see now? 0th element, 1 element, 2 element. Every element is getting updating with web development. Got my point? Huh?
Yeah.
For example, if I'm having H3, if I'm having H3,
and how about we give ID instead of class? How about we give ID instead of class?
Yeah. Well, let me go with that. So document dot get elements by class name, and this time the class name is something like class is something like Srinivas. Okay, so class is something like Srinivas. Now I'm giving the class name. It is Srinivas.
Yeah.
Dot and save it as with the 0th element. Dot inner HTML is equal to something like HTML. That's it. Now, what is the output of this last element?
HTML.
Last element is getting updating with HTML. Why? Because of Srinivas. Srinivas is a single class. We don't have multiple classes for the Srinivas.
Yeah.
And first element is treating as the 0th element. Second element treating as the 1 element. Okay. If I am having multiple Srinivasas, then we have to specify. We have to specify each and every index.
Yep.
It means one index I need to specify, 2 index I need to specify. Then only I can able to see all the different H3s with HTML.
Yeah.
All H1s are updating with the web development. So this is a concept of classes. This is a concept of elements.
Yeah.
Then what is the concept of IDs? Now you have the question.
Yeah.
How to ID access? ID access. From having ID. Full start. Okay, now this time it is going to be ID. ID is in singular. ID is in queue. ID is not storing in array. Okay, this will be Hyderabad. ID is Hyderabad. Okay, this time we have to specify get element by ID.
ID. Yes.
ID is Hyderabad. This time ID is Hyderabad. ID is Hyderabad. There is no specific index. Index required when your components are in array, when your classes are in array, but IDs are not in array. See, ID is singular. ID is unique. This time this is Avi, and sometime it is Srinivas. Some ID is different. ID is unique. And this inner HTML is React node. React node. This is about Hyderabad. This is about Avi, and this is about Srinivas. See, every ID is different. There is no index specification. Previous one, we have the elements. This time, which is element. Can you see and observe?
Yeah.
In previous program, classes and elements are plural, but ID is unique. ID is unique means we have to specify with element by ID.
Yeah.
Can you see? Observe element by ID. This time, elements by tag name or elements by class name. But in the concept of IDs, this is element by ID. It means it is singular. So when I go with the singular, it is going to be having React node, React node, React node. Every time React node.
Yeah.
Hyderabad changing to Fullstack changing to React node. Second Fullstack changing to React node. Third Fullstack changing to React node. Why? Because of ID Hyderabad getting changed, ID Ivy getting changed, ID Srinivas getting changed. Can you see and observe? So one is the classes access, one is the element access, one is ID access.
Yeah.
Three things like that. Okay. So here the method is document dot
write
get elements
by
tag name. Name of the tag.
Yeah.
And we need to specify the index. Why? Because of this is plural.
Yep. Dot inner HTML.
Elements are plural. At the same time, classes are plural.
Yeah. So
elements by class, elements by class name.
Yeah.
Name of the class we have to specify. And ID, but ID is different. Document dot.
So document dot
get element by ID.
Yeah.
Get element by ID. This time it is singular.
Yeah.
When you have the singular one, you have to call the ID name, and there is no index for this.
Yeah.
You got my point, I think so.
Yeah.
Accessing elements, accessing classes, accessing IDs. Three different concepts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please just follow this today.